You ever have one of those days where a single dumb thing like running out of ketchup kicks off a chain reaction that makes you question your own grip on reality? Yeah, that's how this all started for me. And if you're sitting there thinking, how bad could it really get over a bottle of ketchup? Well, strap in, because I promise you what I'm about to tell you is way stranger, way scarier, and way more infuriating than anything I could have made up. Before we dive in, let me just say comment below where you're watching from. And if you hate racist Karens as much as I do, smash that like button, subscribe, and check out my second channel for more stories. I'll drop the link below. Now, this isn't for clicks. It's not drama for drama's sake. I'm telling this so maybe somebody out there will recognize the monster in their own neighborhood before things get out of hand. It all started at the Evergreen Market, a little store with faded linoleum floors, the smell of day-old bread, and those fluorescent lights that make everybody look a little worse for wear. I'd had a marathon day, 9 hours straight of meetings and spreadsheets my tie, feeling like a noose just picturing myself getting home, kicking off my shoes, and making a burger the old-fashioned way. But I was out of ketchup. So there I was, dragging myself into that store with all the energy of a wet towel, just wanting to get in and out. The place was nearly empty. I grabbed my bottle, headed to the express lane, 10 items or less big red sign, no ambiguity. That's where I saw her, this older woman, late 70s, maybe hair the color of cheap bleach, and wild as a squirrel's nest in a neon green tracksuit and blindingly pink pants. She looked straight through me at first, but the kind of way a predator looks through tall grass. Her cart was piled so high it looked like she was prepping for the apocalypse. I gave her a polite nod, the universal not here to start anything gesture, and went to the lane with my single bottle. The cashier, Chloe, shot me a tired smile. Then it happened. Out of nowhere, this woman swings her cart behind me, blocking the lane, and starts in voice, like gravel and vinegar. Are you serious? You think you can just cut in front of me because you're in your fancy suit? She was pointing at me, her bony finger trembling with anger. Now you have to understand, I'd spent all day diffusing high-stakes business fights. My instinct was to stay calm, de-escalate. Ma'am, I've only got one item. This is the express lane. I even smiled, thinking we could all just move on with our lives. Wrong move. It was like I lit a fuse. She goes off, calls me arrogant, says you people always think the rules don't apply loud enough for everyone to hear. Suddenly the air in the store changes, everybody's watching. Chloe's frozen, a lady in the next aisle is pretending not to stare but clearly taking it all in. I felt that familiar dread, a switch flips, and I knew exactly what kind of situation this had turned into. Before I could even process, the store manager hustles over. She points at me, says I'm harassing her, that I threatened her, her voice cracking like she's in real danger. The next thing I know, she's pulling out her phone calls, 911, right there screaming that I'm aggressive, that she's an old woman in danger, that there's a large black man threatening her life. It was chilling the way she spun that narrative with such practiced venom, using every racist stereotype in the book. I could feel the suspicion creeping in from the folks around me, the seed of her poison already taking root. I knew I had to get out of there before the cops showed up and saw only her tears and my suit. I told Chloe to forget the ketchup, walked out as calmly as I could. But as soon as I got to my car, I realized this nightmare wasn't over. The woman followed me, her rusty old sedan glued to my back bumper through every turn. At first I told myself, maybe she just lives this way, but she matched every move. When I took a detour, so did she. It turned from weird to terrifying fast. She tailed me all the way home, honking, gesturing like a maniac. People stared, probably thinking I'd done something wrong. That's how it works, right? The quiet black guy in a suit versus the wild-eyed grandma in the beater car. Guess who gets the benefit of the doubt? By the time I got to my driveway, my heart was thumping out of my chest. I parked, hands shaking, and watched as she pulled up across the street, climbed out, and just stood there. Then my dog Brutus, a Bernese mountain dog, the size of a sofa, sweet as pie, comes bounding out. She sees him and loses it, starts screaming. He's a vicious pit bull that I'm setting my dog on her. She storms across the street, not at me, but at my stuff. First she spits at my car window, then she starts kicking it, puts a huge dent in the side, shrieking insults, some of the ugliest, most hateful things I've ever heard. She tears up my lawn, rips out my mailbox, even tries to hit my dog with a broken post. The whole time she's screaming for help, calling me a monster, playing the victim for the imaginary audience. That's when the police finally show up. Same officers as before, hands on their guns, seeing a scene that fits her script. Me, a large black man in a suit, an old white woman crying with a stick, my dog barking. Before I can say a word, they cuff me, slam me against my own car. Meanwhile, they're patting her on the back, telling her she's safe. The whole thing felt like some twisted play I never auditioned for. Later, they let me go say, there are conflicting stories, but by the next morning, she's already filed for a restraining order against me, spun some story about me terrorizing her. And just like that, I became the villain in my own neighborhood. People stopped talking to me, doors closed as I walked by, and some concerned citizen posted warnings about me on the neighborhood app. It was open season on my reputation, and nobody wanted to be on my side. I was ready to give up. Honestly, move, disappear, let her win. But then out of the blue, my neighbor Mrs. Gable, who I thought was just another silent bystander, knocked on my door in the pouring rain. She came in shaking and told me the whole street was scared of Sing Blackwood, and her son, turns out her son is a big-shot lawyer connected to every judge and cop in the county. And this wasn't the first time. 5 years ago, she drove out a young family, the Harpers, same playbook, same lies, same weaponized bigotry. No one helped them either. Mrs. Gable decided she couldn't stay quiet anymore, promised to testify for me. That was the turning point. With her story, my lawyer and I started digging, found lawsuit after lawsuit, harassment complaints stretching back decades, even a case where she tried to poison a landscaper's dog in another town. We built a mountain of evidence. But still the system dragged its feet. The restraining order against her stalled, while hers against me zipped right through. So we set a trap. I posted on the neighborhood app about a big happy block BBQ, something inclusive, everything she'd hate. I installed more cameras, even a hidden one in a birdhouse. Sure enough, the night before our hearing, I caught her on camera sneaking up my porch with a gas can, muttering about how she was going to shut up my dog and get rid of us for good. We had her on video, audio, the works. This time, when I called the cops, they came out swinging. They arrested her, right there, evidence in hand, no way for her to fake tears or blame me. But as they hauled her off, she screamed, "My son will destroy you. This isn't over." And you know what? I believe her, because this was never about a bottle of ketchup or even just one unhinged old woman. It was about power, the kind that gets to decide who belongs and who doesn't. So yeah, that's how a Tuesday in the grocery store turned into a war that's still not over. The monster wasn't just at the express lane, it was hiding in plain sight, protected by a rotten system. If you've got a story like this, or you think you know someone who does, don't let it go. Speak up. Because if you don't, the Sing Blackwoods of the world win every time. Now, I want to hear from you. Where do you stand on this? Who's right? Who's wrong? Is justice even possible when the game's been rigged from the start? Drop your take in the comments. Maybe together we'll figure out how to fight back.